Yo homes, welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial, and in this one I'll teach you how to create great cinemagraphs in Photoshop. And in case you don't know what they are, we'll start with explaining what they are. So let's begin. Now, since you're watching this video, you probably have seen cinemagraphs and have basic idea of it, but in case you don't know exactly what cinemagraph is, there's generally still photographs with some minor change, just light animation kind of thing happening in them, generally in repeated form, which gives the viewer a false idea of watching animation or motion. It's, as you can see from the name, it's kind of obvious, like it's a combination of cinema and photograph. And you can, besides being able to do this in proper full-scale video editing and animation softwares like After Effects and Premiere Pro, you can also do them in Photoshop. And in this video, that's what I'll teach you, doing a cinemagraph in Photoshop. By default, we have the essentials workspace opened in Photoshop. So what we'll have to do first is change the workspace to motion. For that, go to Windows, workspace, and select motion. There we'll get the option to create a frame animation timeline and a video timeline. For Cinemagraph, we'll be creating a video timeline. Once the video timeline is activated, you will notice some timelines and some layers arranged in another timeline with different time frames of their own. Once that's activated, we'll bring in the video elements we want to include in the cinemagraph. With all the elements in place, we will now arrange them, work on them a bit depending on what we're looking for. And if you're wondering about how I created this dual exposure, it's nothing different in Cinemagraph. It works in the same way a normal photo manipulation would work in the process in Photoshop. After all, it's the same application. And if you want to know how to do this, there's a separate tutorial for that. You will find it on my channel. You might there'll also be the link somewhere around here. And coming to the limitations of the Photoshop video timeline over full-fledged video editing softwares, there are quite a few, and that's obvious because Photoshop ain't supposed to be a video editing tool. And some of them being, you cannot manipulate the speed and time frame of the video elements here. You also cannot control the total length of the video timeline on itself. It automatically adjusts its length according to the longest video element you have in your layers, in your active layers. So if you want to reduce that, you have to reduce the length for which a video stays active in it and adjust the length of other elements according to that. Now there's one thing though, you can add keyframes in the layers itself to add on the animation in Photoshop itself. To add a keyframe and add some animation with it, select the layer you want to add keyframe to from the video timeline. Click on the arrow button, that direction button. Clicking with it will drop down to a few options like transform, opacity, style, etc. For this we want to add animation on a transform, so we are clicking on the transform and there's a stopwatch sign. So click on the stopwatch sign, it will add a keyframe at the time where you are on the timeline, and then you can add another time keyframe in another time frame, change the values between the times, and you will get a progressive animation through it. Now let us play with the Cinemagraph a little and get to where we want it to be, and once that's done we shall export it, and we can export it in many formats, two being the best options for this. Now there are two best options to export the Cinemagraph as, one of them being video and the other being GIF. First let us try the GIF. To export the Cinemagraph as a GIF, go to file menu, export, and there you will get an option to save for web or legacy. The shortcut is command shift option S in Mac or control shift alt S in Windows. There you will get the detailed GIF or detail menu for making minor adjustments to the GIF in the final export form. The color codes and all, the default options are good enough. Just make sure you have the forward option selected in repeat, and once that's done just click save, choose the file name and click save. Now this will take a little time because this is a process heavy rendering process, and the time kind of depends on the specifications of the system you're using, but it will take a little time, just be patient. The second great format to export this as is as a video file. For that, go to file menu, export, and there will get the option called render to video. Once that's selected, you will get the detail menu for to select the options while exporting the file as a video. Go through your requirements, the size, quality, etc., and click render. This once again will take a little time, although less than the process of exporting it as a GIF, and it depends on your system, but it is a CPU heavy process, so just be a little patient. So this basically completes the tutorial of making a Cinemagraph in Photoshop. Go ahead and make your own. All the best with them. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'm also active on subscribe my channel for more similar videos. There will be more coming, and there are already quite a few in the channel. Go check them out. And I'm also active on other social media platforms, especially Instagram. Links in the description below. And if you want to go through my design works mainly, then you can check my Behance profile, also link in the description below. I also make stock elements. You can get them on my 2020 and Shutterstock accounts. And thanks again for watching. Keep creating and stay above the crowd. Hope to see you again, and till then, matane.